Hello, car lovers. Today it's going to be an informal chat. I want to chat with you guys, and this is mostly for the people of the province of Quebec. So, what does that mean? There is a new scheme that kind of went under the radar. We didn't hear about it. It's like a fart in the wind, let's say, and then it's gone. But it's still there. It's still there, and it's a pricing scheme that we have now in the province of Quebec to incite people to buy cars. And when I say inciting for the government of Quebec means coercing. So what is this scheme and what does it mean? First, I just want to go over a few baseline facts. So I think if we have the high school math settled, we're going to be able to think about this more clearly. Currently, the only car that's sold that has an adequate range to do our normal tasks, doing whatever we want, is pretty much the Chevy Bolt. That's Bolt with a B as in Bravo. And that car has over 350 kilometers of range, and during the winter it's probably reduced that by 30%. But nevertheless, it has a lot of range. And the all-equipped version of this, I built it online. And with the rebate, with the $8,000 rebate, it comes out to, I have it right here, $937 per month for 60 months on purchase. That's almost $1,000 a month. Number two, the Honda Fit, which when you're sitting in these cars feels about the same. So when you're sitting inside the Bolt, it kind of feels like a Honda Fit in there, right? It's about the same size. The quality of the materials are about the same. A Honda Fit, all equipped, over 60 months, hold on, I got it right here, is $532 a month. So when you're figuring out how much a car costs, you have to look at number of payments multiplied by payments. The Bolt comes out to $56,220, right? And the Fit comes out to $31,920. So an all-equipped Fit, when you buy it over the course of 60 months, it's going to cost you over $30,000. That's the cheapest car that Honda sells, all right? And another math, which you have to take into account, is what is our disposable income, right? How much do we have to spend? And the average, at least in 2015, because the stats takes time to come out, but I look for these, the average salary of somebody living in the province of Quebec, their disposable income, that's pretty much what they have after taxes, right? It's the lowest in Canada, by the way. It's 26,000-ish. How much is it? 26,857. 26,857. So that's about $500 a week. And I want to make a point about owning a car. When you own a car, it really increases the quality of your life. And I really don't think you can consider yourself middle class if you can't afford the cheapest car Honda can make. You're not middle class. You may think you're middle class. You may aspire to be middle class, but you're not. Where is the government of Quebec coming into this? Well, there's Bill 104, which once again, nobody really talked about it, which is supposed to entice people, that's a really weird word to use for that, to buy electric cars. And what it means is that they are requiring manufacturers to sell either plug-ins or completely battery cars. A certain percentage of their fleet has to sell those types of vehicles. So for example, in 2018, they got to sell 3.5%. And it's going to work its way up to 22.5% by 2025. Really? So manufacturers who do not meet those thresholds, they will be required to buy credits from the government or from other manufacturers. And the cost of those credits will be added on to the cost of sales, right? So when you buy a car, the price of your car will be increased to account for those outlays, for the credits, the punitive credits. Let's call them punitive taxes, because that's what they are. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to, like, I guess this idea of like a carbon exchange, right? That's kind of like that idea. Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem for me, is that the prices of the other cars will be raised, right? But people in the middle class still won't be able to afford, or just who are aspiring to enter in the middle class, they're not very high middle class, it's just barely entering the middle class, that Honda Fit will go up in price. It will not entice them to buy an electric car. And that's the thing. It's just taxing you. It's just taxing people who are not going to buy electric cars, because the cost of those credits will be paid by the buyer of regular cars. Now, I know some people are saying, well, you know, the very, unfortunately in the province of Quebec, we have a very loud minority, a very small minority, but they're extremely loud, and they just take up all the noise, and they're saying, well, that's fine if you pay a little bit more, it's good for the environment. It's not good for the environment. There's not more electric cars on the road. You're just taxing people who are not buying electric cars. And right now, the government does give you $8,000 to buy an electric or a plug-in. So I can only conclude that the rebate is not enough. There's almost $25,000 difference between an all-electric car, which is the Bolt, and the Honda Civic, which is the exact same car. It's just the drivetrain that's different and the gas tank. So where are you going with that $8,000 rebate? It has nothing to do with making you buy an electric car. It has everything to do with increasing the cost for you to buy a non-electric car. It kills the people who are trying to enter the middle class. That's the only people that are going to be hurt. Poor people are not going to be hurt by that. They can't afford cars. Rich people will not be hurt by that. They're very few in Quebec. But rich people will not be hurt because, well, they're rich. The only people that are going to be hurt by this are middle class people. It's people like me. It's probably people like you. It's probably people like you who are working hard to get there one day. So all this is about saving our 6 months of winter, right? You know, I'm just not into, like, I hate winter, right? I just don't want to fight for 6 months of winter. And I think there's a lot of people who are like me. Maybe you're reluctant to say it in public because somehow it's like, I don't know, it's like, it's weird. It's like, I don't know, you can't say that anymore. You can't say that in polite company. But it's just, I just care about the environment, but I just don't want to pay all that. And it's kind of like, this is just a accumulation of really taxes. It's a form of taxation. And what I mean by that, it comes on you a little bit at a time. So for example, now we're up to 10 cents per liter for a federal tax. We have 19 point something cents per liter of provincial tax on the gas we buy. Plus there's a random 3 cents per liter for people in the Montreal area for transit tax, and then we have then on top of that we pay a sales tax for the gas, and then we pay provincial tax on top of all that. It's crazy. And all these little taxes, you're gonna say, well, it's going for the public and all that. Yeah, that's true, but taxes like this way of like always taking a little bit more, it's kind of like if I give you an extra toast of Nutella to eat every day. So in the morning you get up and you take what you normally eat, plus you add a little half toast of Nutella. You know, at the end of the week, I'm going to say, how do you feel? I'm going to feel pretty good. Because did you gain any weight? No, I'm fine, you know. But at the end of the year, you may have gained 2 pounds. And you're going to be thinking to yourself, well, that's fine. I look great. I'm fit. But so then the next year I add another half toast of Nutella. And now you're eating 2 toasts of Nutella every day. And at the end of the week, I ask you, how do you feel? Well, I still feel great. And at the end of the year, well, how are you? Well, instead of weighing 195 pounds, I only weigh 200. I can't feel the difference. I can't see it in my face. So the next year, I add a banana here. You have an extra banana every 2 days. Don't worry about it. You hardly have to pay it. And, at the end of the year, you weigh 201 pounds. And this adds on year after year after year after year, where finally you weigh 275 pounds. You're always out of breath. You can't, hey, you want to go out? Oh, Christ, no, I don't want to go out. I just can't move. No, it's not that you can't move. It's you're broke. All right? You don't have any money. All right? And that's why we have, like, a lot of people, instead of being ambitious, they're cooped up in their 1.5 watching Netflix. All right? And that's the effect of always adding taxes and taxes and taxes and taxes. And I feel strongly about cars. Like, this is not like, I'm not trying to like be anti-tax or anything. This is about, people want cars. People love cars. It's a source of freedom. I mean, how the hell can you enjoy the you know, the wonderful green spaces we have here. How can you go up north and, you know, have a walk up north? I have plenty of those. I take my car, I go. You can't get there if you don't have a car. You know, how can you enjoy nature if you don't have a goddamn car? You're stuck in the city, right? And if you listen to those people, you're going to be stuck living in a 1 1/4 stacked onto top of each other. You don't want to be too much of a carbon footprint. So it's ill-advised. It's not going to bring down the cost of the Chevy Bolt. And, you know, if the government absolutely wants us to drive electric cars, increase the rebate. Increase it to 12 or 13,000. I would have bought a Volt, that's Volt with a V, as in video. I would have bought that Volt had the rebate been $12,000. I would have bought it. I'm not going to buy it next year because of this stupid exchange, right? So, like, that's kind of like what I'm calling out here. I'm calling out something that's going to cost all of us car lovers money, and they will not accomplish the task that it was set out to accomplish.